Alright, let's dive into the art of Philadelphia football, because today we're unpacking a story that's way bigger than just stats and highlight reels. If you're tuning in, no matter where you are, on your lunch break, relaxing after work, or just a hardcore fan who lives and breathes the game, thank you. Seriously. It means a lot to have you here, especially when we're talking about something as important and misunderstood as the legacy being built by Jalen Hurts and the potential rising star that just might change the dynamics of the Eagles' backfield. Buckle up, because this isn't just about football. This is about reputation, perception, leadership, and a little thin calle de art. Jalen Hurts is, without question, one of the most polarizing quarterbacks in the NFL right now. And that in itself is wild, because when you take a step back and really look at his career, the level of criticism he receives doesn't match what he brings to the table. As a quarterback who's led his team to 2 Super Bowls. As a proven dual-threat weapon who has accounted for over 30 total touchdowns in a single season while limiting his turnovers to just 5 interceptions. As calm, composed, physically gifted, and mentally locked in, and yet, for some reason, he remains a punching bag for media talking heads and anonymous users on social media who seem hell-bent on downplaying his success. A big part of the narrative against Hurts comes from how he plays the game. Is not your traditional pocket passer who racks up 400 yards a game through the air. And some people just can't get past that. They point out how rarely he throws for more than 300 yards, or that when he does, it often comes in a loss. It's like unless you fit the exact mold of a stereotypical, statuesque quarterback slinging it 50 times a game, your greatness comes with an asterisk. But that way of thinking? It's outdated. And frankly, it's lazy. Jalen Hurts doesn't just play quarterback, he leads. He commands respect in the huddle. He walks into every game with poise and purpose. The man came up under pressure his whole career. From the battles at Alabama, transferring to Oklahoma, getting doubted again at the draft, and now stepping into one of the most demanding sports markets in the world. And he hasn't just survived, he thrived. He's taking hits from defenses and from doubters, and he keeps pushing forward with that same quiet, controlled intensity that sets the best apart from the rest. What's crazy is how often the criticisms completely ignore the context around his performance. The Eagles, when they're at their best, don't rely on Jalen to throw for massive yardage every week. Why? Because they don't need to. They've built a physical, balanced, and efficient offense that attacks teams in multiple ways. When you have a strong defense, a powerful run game, and multiple elite receiving options, your quarterback doesn't have to put up video game numbers. He just has to execute. And that's exactly what Hurts does, he executes at a high level. Let's not forget that in the 2022 season, he was the runner-up for the league's most valuable player. That's not a small feat. That's a signal to the league that is not just a solid starter, it's elite. In that same year, he went undefeated in NFC championship games, delivered in the playoffs, and nearly stole the biggest game of the year on the biggest stage. In 2 postseason games that year, he totaled almost 700 yards and accounted for 7 touchdowns. 7. Against elite-level competition. That's the kind of production that most quarterbacks dream of, but still, the doubters kept chirping. So where is all this negativity coming from? Is it just rival fans being loud? Is it analysts who are stuck in an old-school mindset? Or is it something deeper, something about Philadelphia itself? Because let's be honest, the city doesn't have the friendliest reputation when it comes to sports. It's passionate, it's intense, and it's unapologetically real. That can rub people the wrong way. But it also creates some of the most loyal, knowledgeable fans in the league. So when outsiders look in, they don't always get it. They see the aggression, the noise, the passion, and they confuse it for something negative. But those who know, know. And in Philly, Jalen Hurts is respected not just for what he does on Sundays, but for who he is every single day. Let's talk about that for a second, who he is. This is a guy raised in a strong family, coached by his father, grounded in discipline and humility. You can see it in how he carries himself. He don't chase the spotlight, but he handles it when it finds him. Is composed during interviews, he never throws teammates under the bus, and he speaks with intention. Off the field, is become a brand. He has a distinct style, a quiet swagger, and a strong presence that's impossible to ignore. Alongside his wife, they've become a standout couple at major events, exuding class and poise. Everything about him screams professionalism. And still, the criticism never stops. Some argue that his mechanics aren't pretty. That his throwing motion is stiff. That he don't have a laser-like accuracy. But again, watch the games. Look beyond the spreadsheets. He delivers deep balls with touch and timing. He makes decisions under pressure. He escapes the pocket when needed, and he makes plays with his legs that completely shift the momentum of games. He's not just a runner, he's a physical runner, one who welcomes contact and finishes runs with authority. And sure, maybe his speed isn't as graceful as some others, but it's effective. Just as any defender was tried to bring him down. And we can't talk about Hurts without mentioning the signature play, the quarterback sneak that the Eagles have turned into a weapon. Nobody runs that play like him. Nobody. Es the engine of that short yardage dominance, using raw strength and precision to extend drives and demoralize defenses. That's not a gimmick. That's execution at the highest level. And it matters. Now, some say is only good because he is surrounded by talent. But there is a truth bomb, every great quarterback has had help. Championships aren't won by one guy. They're won by teams. Look at any dynasty. Look at the rings. Behind every legendary quarterback, there is a supporting cast that includes elite receivers, top-tier linemen, dominant defenses, and Hall of Fame coaches. That's not an act, that's the reality of winning in the NFL. So when people use that as an excuse to discount Hurts, it says more about their understanding of the game than it does about him. This past season, he kept proving people wrong. He put up 30 combined touchdowns. He kept his interception count at 5. That's elite ball security. That's leadership. And that's knowing how to win. Even when his stats didn't jump off the page, he did exactly what the team needed him to do. He distributed the ball to his top weapons, including one receiver who's been All-Pro every single year since joining the team, breaking the 1,000-yard mark consistently. And guess who's throwing him the ball? Jalen Hurts. Another video, one of the best number 2 options in the league, has also flourished with Hurts under center. Coincidence? Not a chance. The truth is, Jalen is one of the best deep balls in the NFL. Es a top-tier dual threat quarterback. He's made a career of showing up in big games. And while the noise outside might be loud, inside that locker room, and inside that city, his value is undeniable. You can see it when he walks into the building. You can hear it when teammates talk about him. And you can feel it when the game is on the line, and is the one leading the drive. And speaking of stepping up, let's shift gears for a moment to talk about a player who could be a game changer for this roster moving forward, a rookie running back who wasn't even drafted. Yep, undrafted. But don't let that fool you. This guy has all the tools to make a serious impact. Is built like a tank, runs with vision and patience, and don't go down easy. In fact, his college numbers are wild, over 3,800 rushing yards in just his last few seasons. That's production. That's consistency. And that's a red flag for defenders everywhere. What sets him apart is more than just stats. It's the way he runs, explosive, physical, determined. Don't shy away from contact, and once he gets going, good luck slowing him down. Is one of the best in the country when it comes to forcing missed tackles and generating yards after contact. And yeah, he came from a smaller school, but that chip on his shoulder? That's fuel. That's the kind of edge that turns nobodies into stars. And when you watch the tape, you see it. The footwork, the lateral quickness, the balance, it's all there. Now, making the leap to the NFL is never easy, especially for undrafted players. But sometimes, those guys end up being the biggest steals. And in this case, there is a real shot makes the final roster. With the current group of running backs, there is competition. There is depth. But there is also opportunity. If the team decides to bring back the fullback position, that could shift things a bit. But even then, this rookie's profile makes him a perfect complement to what they already have. A Bruce who can wear down defenses and give this offense another dimension. In a league where versatility and toughness matter more than ever, this kid brings spot. And if he earns that spot, don't be surprised when he starts making headlines of his own. Because sometimes, the stars you never saw coming are the ones who seem the brightest. So here we are, talking about a quarterback who continues to defy the odds, and a young running back who just might write his own underdog story. That's the beauty of football. It's not always about the flashiest names or the highest draft picks. It's about grit. It's about the art. And in Philadelphia, those qualities still matter more than anything. That's the essence of what defines this team and this city, not just the numbers, not just the highlight reels, but the intangible fear that fuels everything. You feel it in the locker room. You feel it in the stands at Lincoln Financial Field. You feel it in every post-game press conference where Jalen Hurts keeps it calm, focused, and professional, never once letting the media bat him into drama or excuses. That discipline, that consistency in character, is why this team continues to compete at such a high level. And yet, for some bizarre reason, a large segment of the football world continues to act like he hasn't earned his stripes. The disrespect becomes even more confusing when you look at how he performs under pressure. We're not just talking about game-winning drives, although guess at his area of toss. We're talking about tear-down conversions, clutch moments in hostile environments, tight red zone windows, and facing defenses that stack the box and dare him to beat them. And the does. Time and time again. The data backs it up, though. His completion percentage above expectation? Among the best in the league. His efficiency under pressure? Better than several quarterbacks the media worships weekly. And on third downs, where legends are made, his performance is elite. Those plays aren't just stats on a page. They're momentum changers. They're season defining. What's interesting is how little attention these advanced metrics get when critics talk about Hurts. Instead, they cling to traditional stats that don't paint the full picture. That's the thing with lazy analysis, it's easy to look at box scores, but much harder to understand context. Much harder to look at film and see the impact of a well-timed scramble, a subtle pump fake that holds a safety just long enough for the receiver to break free, or a perfectly placed deep ball that shifts field position in one snap. Those details don't always show up in headlines, but they win games. And Hurts lives in those details. It's almost as if some people are just waiting for him to fall so they can say he told you so. But what they fail to realize is that Jalen Hurts was built for that pressure. He's walked through the fear before. Remember his college journey? From being benched at Alabama, to staying quiet, supporting his team, then transferring to Oklahoma and lighting it up. That arc alone says everything you need to know about his mindset. He's not chasing validation. He's not obsessed with being liked. He's here to work, to grow, and to win. That's what separates him. That's what makes him the kind of quarterback you build around. And the franchise knows it. That's why is the face of this team moving forward. That's why you see the investment, not just in contracts, but in building a roster that amplifies his strengths. The offensive line? One of the best in football. A wall of protection that gives him the space to operate and the lanes to run. The receiving corps? Now, while the quarterback discussion takes center stage, the importance of a balanced offensive attack can't be overstated. And that's where the emergence of a physical, downhill running game becomes essential, not just to give Hurts a breather, but to wear down defenses, control the tempo, and dominate time of possession. Enter the rookie running back we mentioned earlier. The one who wasn't drafted, but has the potential to be a hidden gem. His role could be crucial, especially if the team decides to lean into a more run-heavy identity next season. Think about it, when you've got an offensive line that opens up all the decisive ways and a quarterback boss a threat to take off at any moment, adding a bruising relentless running back to that mix becomes a nightmare for opposing defenses. This kid brings that energy. Is explosive through the gap, breaks tackles like it's personal, and finishes runs hard. And even though he didn't come from a major program, his numbers stack up with anyone. The missed tackles, the yards after contact, the explosive runs, all indicators of a player who might not just make the roster, but demand carries. Is the kind of back that thrives in cold weather games, in fourth quarters where defenders don't want to get hit anymore. It keeps his legs churning, it lowers the shoulder, and it grinds out those tough yards that don't always make the highlight reels but absolutely win games. And what's exciting is the depth in that running back room. The competition is going to bring out the best in everybody. Whether it's a returning vet, a speedster looking for more reps, or a versatile back who can contribute on special teams, everyone is going to have to earn their touches. That kind of environment? That's how good teams stay great. But the rookie could have something the others don't, hunger. That undrafted hunger. That chip on the shoulder mentality. It's not coming in with hype. It's coming in with something to prove. And sometimes, that's exactly what a team needs to find its next breakout star. It might not start week 1. It might not even get a carry in the first month. But if it gets his shot and makes the most of it, the coaching staff won't ignore that. They lean into it. They find ways to get him on the field. Because in this league, production speaks louder than pedigree. Meanwhile, the conversation around this team's offensive identity continues to evolve. There has been some debate about whether the Eagles should stick with their physical run-first mentality or pivot to a more pass-heavy approach. And while balance is always key, it's hard to argue with what's worked. In recent seasons, when the Eagles have leaned into the run, they've worn down elite defenses. They've controlled games. They've taken the air out of stadiums. And with a quarterback like Hurts, who can be a threat with his legs on every snap, there is no need to abandon that formula. The data supports it. The wins support it. And the roster is built for it. So if the team doubles down on that identity, if they commit to pounding the rock and dominating the trenches, don't be surprised if the rest of the league starts taking notice again. That's how you take pressure off your quarterback. That's how you extend drives. That's how you win in January. And look, it's not about ignoring the passing game. Hurts has shown it can deliver when asked. It's proven it can throw deep, hit tight windows, and execute in the red zone. It's about having options. It's about dictating terms to the defense. If they stack the box, you've got weapons outside. If they trap into coverage, you pound the ball. That kind of flexibility is dangerous. That's what championship-caliber teams look like. So as the off-season rolls on and fans speculate about roster spots, depth charts, and schemes, one thing is crystal clear: this team is in good hands. Jalen Hurts is not just a quarterback. Es a standard bearer. a ton St. And the young talent coming in, like that bruising running back with something to prove, is only going to make the team sharper, tougher, and more resilient. We're watching something special unfold. And while the outside noise might never stop, the people who matter, the coaches, the teammates, the fans who actually pay attention, they see what's really happening. They see the leadership. They see the growth. They see the fight. And if that's not worth backing, then what is? So whether it's in the pocket, on the run, or with a rookie trying to break through, this team is built on something real. And in a league full of flash, drama, and empty narratives, that might just be their biggest advantage. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our Philadelphia Eagles. And don't be shy, share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Kendrick Bourne has officially confirmed his arrival at the Philadelphia Eagles, marking a significant move in the NFL offseason. The veteran wide receiver, previously with the New England Patriots, made the announcement through a video posted on his social media accounts, where he expressed excitement about the new chapter in his career. "Fly Eagles fly," he declared with a wide smile, donning the iconic midnight green jersey for the first team. This acquisition is seen as a strategic move by the Eagles, who are looking to strengthen their receiving corps ahead of the upcoming season. Bourne brings experience, energy, and versatility to a team already loaded with offensive talent. Known for his sharp route running and reliable hands, he could be a valuable asset in head coach Nick Sirianni's system, providing depth and consistency behind the star receivers A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. Bourne had a solid run with the Patriots, especially during the 2021 season when he posted career-high numbers in receptions and yards. Although he battled injuries in 2023, the 28-year-old remains confident in his physical condition and eager to prove he can be a difference maker once again. His arrival in Philadelphia not only boosts the team's on-field potential but also adds a dynamic locker room presence, as Bourne is well known for his upbeat attitude and leadership qualities. Fans of the Eagles have responded positively to the news, flooding social media with messages of welcome and anticipation. Many believe Bourne's addition could be the missing piece in the Eagles' pursuit of another deep playoff run. As the team prepares for training camp, all eyes will be on how quickly the new receiver can build chemistry with quarterback Jalen Hurts and fit into one of the league's most exciting offenses. With Bourne now officially an Eagle, expectations are high. If he can stay healthy and adapt quickly to the playbook, his impact could be immediate. The Philadelphia Eagles may have just added another critical weapon in their quest for Super Bowl glory. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Philadelphia Eagles, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.